Before we get started today, let's take a quick look at our sponsor's site, Young LA. As always, love the stuff on here. I'm wearing that t-shirt now in grey. Where is it? You got it in grey? There you go. Boom. And the thing I like about Young LA, as you can see with this kind of stuff here, they've got lots of different styles all on one site. Like, they've just done a Terminator range as a one-off drop, and like, I love the Terminator. But you might not, and if you don't, you might just want to get a sick hoodie for the gym, or you might just want to get some joggers like these. I wear these all the time, by the way. Like, I've got 5 pairs. They fit really nice. They're really comfortable. They're great. And I know there's some women in the audience, and some of you men out there have women in your life, I hope. So if you want to buy for a lucky lady out there, they've got some really cool stuff for the girls. Like I mean, the gym wear for women is just banging, isn't it? It's always better than what the men have. Not that I want to dress up like one, but you get what I mean. It just looks, it looks good on them. And I just pay a compliment without, yeah. Anyway, go to Young LA, 15% off when you use my code TRUE at checkout. Come here. Oh shit, no. Come over here by me. Aye. Who could have seen this coming, eh? Not me. Just kidding. I seen it coming a mile off, didn't I? Years and years I've been trying to tell you all. And it's going to be really sad one day when we've all got to explain to our grandkids how this guy convinced a bunch of grown men around the 2020s that he was the peak of masculinity. I mean, God. What the fuck, man? They could have just arrested him purely on the outfit, let alone all the crime, you know? It's the angle. How are you... The shirt's crazy, but the angle's on show, and it's the gayest outfit ever, isn't it? It's just so gay. When you get arrested and you think that you're like this mafia mob boss type guy, you kind of want to look cool doing it, you know what I mean? I can't think of a worse way to get locked up than this. This is brutal. So yeah, Tate's been arrested, and this time, this is different, and we'll get into it all today. But first, let's hear what the police had to say.
In 2024, the CPS authorised 21 charges against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, following our investigation into allegations of sexual offences dating back to 2012. Following the initial charges being authorised, we have continued to investigate further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. As a result, 38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017.
So the police started investigating them, had 21 charges. Then the more they looked and the more people they interviewed and the more that they uncovered, they're now up to 59 charges. And in case you don't understand the law, when you get charged with something, it's bad. It means they think they can put you in jail for this shit. Now, Tate's lawyer is claiming that they are being punished for daring to exercise their First Amendment rights, meaning they're being punished for freedom of speech, for speaking out. However, according to UK police, it's because they allegedly raped, sex trafficked, and assaulted victims, and also made indecent images of children. Now, you hear that last bit, and you think at this point, a lot of the previous defenders of Tate would kind of stop and go, maybe I should shut the fuck up now. But all of these people who hate Jeffrey Epstein and hate all of these other kind of characters, they're fine with this. Not a problem. And that's where you really see the difference between people who care about the truth and people who have just got their allegiances and they're just going to support this guy no matter what the fuck he's accused of. And the way Tate's lawyer ends his post of, tomorrow it will be Trump, then it will be you. I mean, like, no, it won't. Do you know what I mean? Like, the narrative is mental. As long as you've not been hurting women or children, it won't be you next. And look, I understand that the trust in the UK police, especially right now, is at an all-time low. But let's just think about this for a second here. Would the UK police have gone to the trouble of getting the feds in Florida, across the world, to locate Andrew Tate, arrest him, and send him all the way back to the UK to face 59 charges against him if they had nothing on him? Does anyone really believe that? This isn't Romania, right? This is America and the UK working together, both sharing the evidence, looking at this and going, yeah, okay. They don't just extradite people every fucking day, you know. This happens like once or twice a year. And look, they're not just going to tell us everything they've got on them at this stage, but they have released a few pieces of information of the allegations. In the Miami Herald here, it says Tate is accused of putting his arm around a woman's neck, placing her in a chokehold without her consent, penetrating her between bouts of unconsciousness over several hours. As someone who's researched many different allegations against Andrew Tate, that is literally the blueprint of what we see over and over and over again. Women of different ages, women in different locations, women who don't know each other, women who don't speak the same language, all saying the exact same thing. And in this article, they've got a couple of the other allegations where women are saying the exact same thing. They were basically choked unconscious while being penetrated unconsensually, before anyone claims that this was a game. No, they're not going to the police over that. Now, the UK make extradition requests to America once or twice a year maximum, and they never get refused because UK and America have a great relationship. So in theory, the Tates coming to the UK should be a formality. It's more when it happens is the issue. Because if there's one thing the Tates have done very well over the last decade, it's delay when it comes to being in court. And they're very good at then going out and convincing everything. Nothing's happening. They've got nothing on us when they're just delaying. And they muddy the waters to confuse people as to what the fuck is really going on.
You know, after 6 years of being called a terrible person and a sexual predator, I've never had a trial. I haven't beaten a trial. I haven't gone to trial and won. No, I've never been to trial ever. Every single nation state which came out with this garbage, which is pushed by George Soros funded NGOs, has attempted to find evidence to put me in jail. And they never, Romania, England, never found enough evidence to even get to trial.
And that's how they manipulate their little fanboys, right? Because they're like, well, they must be innocent. Nothing's happened. And it's like, you don't understand why, though. And as the Mail are reporting here, Andrew and his brother Tristan are being kept behind bars after appearing in court, but they will fight the extradition to the UK. They don't want to come for a trial. If you're so innocent, what's the problem, boys?
I am going to go back. I've heard that England have some criminal case on me. I'm going to fly my ass in there and knock on the door to Bedfordshire Police, say, what do you idiots want? After I've won everything else. Fuck them. I'm going to go back to England. You know, I'm an English person. I'm going to go back to my home country, and I'm not going to let propaganda or you know, corrupt police officers trying to make a name for themselves, or politicians who want to say my name in Parliament because they know it will go viral on X. It's their only chance to ever go viral. I'm not going to let those people scare me away from my birthright, which is the fact that I can travel in and out of the United Kingdom as and when I like as a British man.
I admire that. Yes, Burrow, get yourself back. Do you know what I mean? Don't fight it. But it says here that you are fighting it. If you're desperate to prove your innocence and you're just going to knock on the door and say, well, come on then. Why are you so scared to come back? Funny that, isn't it? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to unpack this whole shit and I'm going to lay it all out for you all so you can understand, why are they still free men? What has actually been happening? And where is all these cases against them going? Because unlike a lot of people who've flapped their gums on this subject, I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I've known all along, actually. Now, the original complaints against them in the UK were made around 2014 to 2015. Before they were famous, before they were expressing their political views online and there was a reason to politically assassinate them, multiple women came forward to the police and made very similar allegations of being strangled unconscious while he continued to have sex with their unconscious bodies.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Why am I like that? Why?
Whilst we were having sex, he put his hand on my throat and strangled me until I lost consciousness. But he was still having sex with me when I kind of came back around again.
I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like?
One of the whites of my eyes had gone completely red. Apparently, that's kind of common in domestic abuse cases where there's a lack of oxygen in your brain. So your blood vessels start bursting to kind of try and get the oxygen there.
Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't pass out.
But he kind of kept saying, I own you, you belong to me.
And as he said in that text message there, by his own admission, he loves it. And I understand we're in an era of AI and, is that really his voice? Are those really his text messages? I interviewed the lawyer who represents these women, these original women. He's seeing the phone from 2014 and 2015 with the phone number on, with the fucking voice notes, all of it verified by the lawyer. This is not AI. And there's a couple of more clips of these women speaking out.
We were having sex and he put his hands around my throat and started strangling me. kind of like crushing my windpipe until I lost consciousness. And then when I came back round again, it was just really like just confusion. He was still having sex with me. Don't know how long I was kind of like knocked out for, but yeah, I completely lost consciousness, which I assume he knew because I probably would have been like limp and stuff. I just forgot even where I was and like who he was and what was going on. I just laid there completely still because I was quite scared that he was going to do it again, and yeah, maybe I wouldn't wake up the second time he did it.
Let's be clear about what she just said there. She laid still because she was scared he might kill her. And when you hear how people dismiss these women as fake, as not real, as this is all just political, it's all made up, those words are just insanely powerful to me.
I was like going in and out of consciousness, and then it was done. He stopped, and then I just like KO'd. When I woke up, I immediately knew that he had done something like really bad to me. One morning, it was just me and him in the bedroom, and he was telling me like, you need to get out of bed, you need to stop being a lazy bitch. He tried coming over to me, and I was like saying, go away, fuck off, leave me alone. And then he grabbed me by my neck. He was strangling me like so hard. I couldn't breathe, and he forced himself on me again for the second time. I was like frozen. There was really nothing else I could do. His hands were so tight around my neck. I did think like he was going to kill me. He was strangling me to the point I couldn't breathe.
These claims are identical, and we're seeing a pattern here of exactly what this man allegedly wants to do to these women. And unfortunately, if they had been investigated properly in the fucking first place, maybe a lot of these new allegations that we've seen over many, many years since this in 2015 may not have been needed to happen, because this guy could have been already behind bars. Sadly, the Hertfordshire police fucked it big time. They didn't properly investigate him, and in the process, he left the country. He went to Romania while under investigation. Now, eventually, the cops dropped the case because they didn't feel like they had enough to get a conviction. However, the Independent Office for Police Conduct is now investigating those police for the failures and the misconduct they showed in not properly investigating Andrew Tate at that time. Now, these women went to the lawyer that I've actually interviewed and said, look, we're not getting justice here. Can we take them to court on a civil claim? And in doing so, it would force Tate to go to court one way or another. Now, ironically, Tate's lawyer then reaches out to the police to get what evidence they took from Tate at that time to prove his innocence, I guess. But when Hertfordshire police had to go through the evidence to dig it out, they realised, fuck, they had way more than they realised on him, and that they totally fucked it up the first time. So that original investigation from 2014, 2015, that Tate claimed he was found innocent and all of that, they've reopened the investigation into him. That was 3 original women and 1 later came forward, so 4 in total, who were totally not included in the 7 who've made the new allegations against Andrew Tate. So we're looking at 11 UK women in total who've made very serious allegations against Andrew Tate. And who knows, they may take that original investigation and combine it with the new one. So by the time Tate comes over, you could be looking at 11 women pointing the finger at him in a UK court. And as I said before, Tate did run away to Romania in the midst of that original investigation. And you might be wondering, why do such a thing? Well, I'll let him explain.
This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're going to go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988, they're going to say we should have done something about it then. If you're going to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say, okay, if you've got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why do you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free.
You know, I've never had one of my mates say to me, you know, I'm not a rapist. But that's never happened. Never been a thing in any conversation I've ever had. So a very interesting choice of words from Tate there. And it would only take a year after moving to Romania before the first allegation came. And it was actually from an American woman called Lauren Southern.
This was in Romania at their little compound.
Yeah, but what year?
This was 2018.
2018.
The very beginning, like January, February 2018.
Okay.
And then they invite me to a club. I have 2 drinks, get completely wasted somehow, like blackout drunk. Tate brings me back to the hotel room, strangles me, assaults me. Crazy incident. I go to a hospital. I report it. I don't want to make it a big media deal. And then years later, he starts going viral online for having human trafficking, mass assault, rape cases, all these things. And I'm feeling guilty as hell because I know I have contemporary medical evidence and text message evidence that I can give to the courts. But I don't want to deal with the online shitstorm that's going to come from that. I'm literally the girl who built her career on, you know, I'm not a feminist. All these women are lying, da 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 da. So I sit on this evidence for years and years and years. And eventually I'm like, why am I sitting here on this pile of lies that I'm telling that make me miserable? I need to just tell the truth about all of it, join the court cases, take a step back from media and get my head back in order because I think all of this is kind of built on bullshit. But it's not even about me. Like, to me, I don't care if people are sympathetic with me. You can hate me, love me, don't care anymore. There are 40 plus women that are victims that needed my evidence, that needed my testimony out there, and I'm happy to help them.
Now, this girl really skimmed over what happened, and I don't blame her. She obviously doesn't like talking about it. Who would? But she's been quoted saying that she said no to him very clearly multiple times and tried to pull his hands off of her, and he put his arm around her neck and began strangling her unconscious. She tried to fight back. He repeatedly strangled me. Every time I regained enough conscious to pull at his arms, and I'd prefer to not share the rest for obvious reasons. I think we all know what she's getting at there. People have claimed this girl was lying, saying, oh, you went back and visited him later. She's actually said, I've actually got proof that that never happened. She's got passport records, etc., etc. And I think that's quite a powerful account because of the position she came from as like a right-wing girl who, as she said, she didn't believe any of the other women and basically is admitting that it even happened to her. So that's us at 2018, by the way, and we've got 12 women now accusing Tate by that point of this sort of stuff. And within a few years of Tate moving to Romania, we then have the Romanian cases being built against him, which there were 2. In those 2 cases, one had 7 women, one had 35 women, which is 42 in total. If you add that to the 12 we've already got, we're at 54 women at this point by 2022. And I think that things ramped up potentially because in Romania, as he said himself, he felt like he was untouchable. He didn't respect the law. And I think maybe the more you commit these kind of alleged crimes, the more you get a thirst for it, the more you want to do even worse. And also it was part of his business, the sex trafficking. I've gone into detail on multiple videos about the accounts that these women have gave and how they were manipulated with violence, with removing their passport, with making them feel like there was no way out, which is reflected in the charges the Romanian cops brought against him. Rape, human trafficking, forming an organized crime group, money laundering, influencing statements, complicity in trafficking minors, and even sexual acts with a minor. And let's not kid ourselves, Tate has dropped himself in it in the way he speaks about young girls multiple times.
I'm fucking all these 16-year-old women or 18-year-old women, whatever the law is in America. 18?
It's 18 usually. You get married at 16.
All right, in Romania it's 16, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking all these 18-year-old women, blah, blah, blah.
Let's just hear that one more time.
I'm fucking all these 15 or not 15, sorry.
You can see how casually that rolled off of his tongue before he had to realize, oh shit, dropped himself in it there. And look, I've been through these Romanian files. I could be here all day with all of the horrific things that these women have said about him. But for this 15-year-old girl to be quoted as saying, when we had sex, Andrew was often aggressive with me in the sense that he would beat me with a belt, choke me, and once he choked me until I fainted, he would wake me up by slapping me in the face. And she also said, you take her so young, you fool her, and you make her your slave. I had sex with him. He put his dick in my ass, and I was telling him, stop, bro. He choked me, and he fucked me when I was little. And just reading that, I'm disgusted. I'm angry. I'm angry at the people who just believe Tate with no hesitation, with no like, this is a fucking disgusting, serious, shocking allegation for a child to make. And instead of going, you know what, I'm going to reserve judgment, I'm going to shut my mouth, they come out in unwavering support for him. Oh, he's innocent. He's a victim. He's the victim. That's what they're saying. Even if you want to say innocent or proven guilty, with the numbers of women coming forward, I find that hard to understand. But so many are calling all of these women outright liars. Now, you'll remember Tate was originally arrested for this. He did spend quite a bit of time, a few months, I think it was, in a Romanian jail. Eventually, he was then let out on house arrest. And then the Trump administration got involved with the Romanian authorities and basically said, you need to let this guy travel. We want his travel ban lifted because he's our guy. And because this was such a massive case with 40 odd victims and so much publicity around it, this wasn't just going to, be an open and shut case overnight for the little old Romanian authorities. So when you combine the fact that Tate is now able to travel to America, have his freedom, we're not getting any developments on this case, it was very easy for the Tates to spin the narrative of we're innocent.
My case was dismissed in 2024 in December due to lack of evidence and the fact that the evidence was made up, invented, mistranslated. It was a disaster for the Romanian prosecution.
He's lying. Yeah, of course. The Tates used every single conceivable legal tactic to delay, because despite what they say about wanting their day in court and to prove they're innocent, they don't want to go near a fucking courtroom. And what really helped them was how fucking useless the Romanian cops were. Shocking, I know. A country that is famous for having, shit police and let you get away with what Tate moved there for. Turns out the cops aren't very good over there. Because when the prosecutors submitted the indictment to the courts on the Tate, there were mistakes in it. And the courts sent it back to the prosecutors and they were like, well, you've made procedural errors in this. You better sort this out and resubmit it, which is going to take even longer. Which gave the Tate brothers all the time in the world to travel to America, go to the UFC, do all this shit, and tell everyone we're innocent. It's all gone away, that. And ironically, the new indictment, which was combining the two cases in Romania of the 7 women and the 35 women into one big motherfucking case, that was expected to drop any day now. And it does feel like the UK cops who've sort of taken the back seat because they were kind of going to let the Romanian authorities proceed with their case first, then you transfer them over here, have gotten tired of waiting around and gone, nah, fuck this. We're pressing forward with our case because these guys are in America who we have a treaty agreement with anyway. So we don't even have to worry about these useless tossers. But make no mistake about it, the Romanian case with the 42 women in it is still ongoing. It's not gone anyway, despite what Andrew Tate might want to tell you.
The Romanians arrested me and, as you know, spent 3 years accusing me of things that were not true. The Romanians threw the entire case out because it's garbage and there never was a case. Once the Romanians throw their case out, then the British state brings up some garbage. I'm considered a national security threat to the Matrix, and all they do is lie.
So the Tates just continue to lie with the help of the Trump administration, using the illusion of freedom to make it out like, oh, the case is completely gone now. And that's why you see so many people online going, this is just another Matrix attack. They'll beat this case like they beat the last one. They haven't beaten shit, man. The first case in the UK has been reopened against them. 2 cases in Romania are now being combined against them. Nothing is off the table. They haven't beaten a single fucking thing. And we don't stop there because there's more. Unbelievably, during their time in Romania, an American woman put a claim in against them for trafficking her to Romania. She was sending text messages to her father saying, I can't escape and all of this shit. That's still ongoing as well. And if you're counting, that puts us at 55 women so far. Now on to 56. This is Bree Stern, a girl who had a bit of a relationship with Tate, if you want to call it that. This is a picture of her from what she claimed was within 24 hours of being attacked by Andrew Tate. There does look like a bit of redness there on the cheek area. I know people can dispute that. Feel free to dispute it in the comments. She recorded this video where there does look like some discoloration around the cheek area, like a darkening. But I will say it is hard to tell, like, was that just the shadows? What isn't hard to see is the text messages that Tate sent her where he says things like, I will hit you today. And she says that she's scared. He says he doesn't care. Do you understand? She says, why hitting? Do you belong to me or not? You're mine. Why wouldn't I be able to hit you? I really love hitting you. It's very good for me. It's relaxing. Don't you think? Imagine fucking sending this to a woman, man. Fuck me. You need to be hit. I don't like it. What did I do? You deserve it. And I think she provided proof of patient discharge there from when she went to the hospital. So this is a girl who told the police, told the doctors, had everyone check her out, and spoke out about it publicly. And that happened less than 2 weeks after the Trump administration got him out of Romania and allowed him into America. So within 2 weeks of being in America, he's got another claim against him. And I just don't understand, if you're a fan of this guy even, and you think it's good that he tells young lads to lift weights, how you can watch how we went from England to Romania to America. Everywhere he goes, allegations, over and over again. Dozens and dozens of women. And still convince yourself, he's just a target, he's just a victim, man. In a time frame that spans from long before he was political, long before he was famous, long before he had money, consistently follows him fucking everywhere. And just sit there and convince yourself, what, just a coincidence? I find that unbelievable, because there are so many people online who are going to bat for this guy, despite the things, these new charges that have come out that have been so highly publicized. 7 victims and 59 new charges in the UK. And I'm almost at a point where I feel like his fan base are sort of desensitized to the words rape, sex trafficking. It's almost become nothing to them. But you'd have thought when they read the words indecent images of children that would have been like a holy shit moment for them. Who am I supporting here? Do I really want to keep saying this guy's definitely innocent? Maybe I should just fucking think about this for a second. And that's when you know that people are fully and totally brainwashed. That, and they also just don't care about victims. They hero worship this guy so much that they don't actually care what he's guilty of, because they look at him and they're just like in awe of him. And that's so pathetic. This is, grown-ass men who claim to have a moral compass and are opposed to the Epsteins and that of this world. And I've seen them with their whataboutisms where they're like, well, they haven't got the Epstein client list yet. No, they haven't. And that's wrong. But does that mean that we're just going to ignore this because they should prioritize? And they should just leave Tate alone because you like his videos? It says 19 charges for indecent imagery of a child. Do you know what level of material we might be looking at here? Now, some of you might not have seen this. Some of you might have seen it. It's been around the internet for a while. This video was recorded in 2012, and the girl in the video has been confirmed to have turned 15 in the year that this video was made. So she might be 14, she might be 15 at the oldest here.
Did I say the word listen? Did I say the word listen? Hey, you stupid bitch. I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Look at the camera. Did I say listen? No. Did I say listen to you? Did I say it? No. Did I say it? Stupid bitch. Look at the camera. This is what happens, you know. Listen, look at the camera.
I don't want to watch any more of that. You get the point. We've got so many women speaking out at this point. We've got a video of him breaking a 15-year-old down with a belt, smacking her around. 56 women listed in all these different cases between England and Romania and America. And this is a guy who wrote courses for his followers to learn the lover boy method of how to become a human trafficker online. This is not even a guy who even hit it well. And yet we're still at a point where him and his friends are claiming that this is just all fabrication and it's just political attack.
I think the UK is coming for me next. I think they're going to launch a case on me. I think they're going to attempt to arrest me. The UK is draconian. It's out of control. They've just entered recession today. It's a failed society where crime rates are out of control and stabbing are out of control, and they no longer have a border, and people are just arriving by boat, and there's acid attacks. It's the acid attack capital of Europe. You can walk down the street and get acid thrown in your face and be permanently disfigured for life. Wow. They should have bigger things to worry about. But I guess their primary objective is, instead of trying to fix our problems, which we don't believe we can do, let's kill the person who highlights the problems. Let's fix the man who tells the truth. Yeah. We have all of these problems in our society, but instead of fixing them, let's instead attack the person who highlights them, because that makes them less prevalent to the populace. So let's get rid of Andrew because he tells the truth about what's happening in England, and then maybe we'll get away with this scam a little bit longer. And that's why they've come up with the idea they have, and that's why, as we speak right now, the British government is trying to put me in jail. I'm pretty sure of that.
The things he highlights about the UK that he says are wrong with the UK, they're being highlighted by thousands and thousands and thousands of people, me included, on some of the things that he's complained about. And I actually think one of the reasons he is so outspoken is that so then he can chalk off these things to, oh, well, it's political, isn't it? Because I was talking about what they didn't want me to talk about. I think that he's premeditated in doing this. And don't get me wrong, do I trust the government or the UK police? Not really, right? Their stock is as low as it's ever been right now, let's be honest here. I think they all know that. And is there an element of this that may be politically motivated? Maybe, but not in the way he claims. There's 11 women in the UK made allegations against this guy. They're not just going to make that up, like. Has he maybe motivated the authorities because he's been, criticising them? Maybe. What does that make him? A fucking idiot. He should have kept his fucking mouth shut. And I've got a comment here from the lawyer of some of the victims who responded to someone saying that the police are just weapons of the state and that there's no trust in, what they're doing here to Andrew Tate. And he says, I know firsthand that these women spent years and years raising concerns about the way their complaints had been investigated. If the police are simply weapons of the state, why did these women spend over a decade fighting to persuade the authorities to properly investigate Andrew Tate? Why was the original investigation then referred to the Independent Office for Police Conduct to investigate the potential gross misconduct of the police? Why are these police being held to account for their failures in not investigating Andrew Tate if they just could have just made it up then? and just investigated him for anything. It doesn't make sense, man. Now, in terms of what's going to happen now, the average extradition from the US will take longer than a year anyway. That's before we even throw in the factor of how the Tates will drag every case out for as long as possible to avoid having their day in court. Usually, in these circumstances, bail will not be granted. That's not happening normally. If that happens, it's because the Trump administration have gotten involved. If for any reason the US don't extradite them to the UK, it's because of the Trump administration. Now, according to CNN's White House correspondent, she is saying President Trump is not expected to get involved in the extradition case of Andrew and Tristan Tate, multiple sources have said. And despite the Tates telling everyone who will listen, this is all made up, it's all fake, it's all lies, they've hired new lawyers in the form of Black Shrepnick, who previously have represented Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting that, isn't it? Of course, Epstein said he was innocent as well, didn't he? And I think that just gives a massive indication that the level of money they're going to spend here, the level of seriousness that they're taking this with. Their mouths are saying, this is nothing, I'm innocent, none of this is real. Their wallets are saying, holy shit, we are in a fucking bad situation right now. And let's be real, if you've got nothing to worry about, you don't go, let's get the Epstein lawyers in. Fucking ridiculous just even saying that. And if convicted in the UK, apparently the lowest he'd get would be like 15 years, but it could easily be life in jail. And what's mad is, let's say he does get convicted and he manages to get out. Well, they're then going to probably send him to Romania. And guess what he's facing there? Exactly the same time. And when it comes to sentencing, they look at, have you shown remorse, guilt? Have you shown that you're a good character? What do you think all of these podcast clips are going to be giving off to the judge about remorse when you're saying, none of these women exist, this is all bullshit? If we end up in that situation, the judge will throw the fucking book at them. And rightly so. And the way I'm kind of looking at it now was like there was massive incompetence from the UK police at the start. There was incompetence from the Romanian police at the start. You'd have thought that this UK police, in order for them to go to the American government and demand that they send Tate over to them, they're not playing around this time. That said, the Tates have been such slippery little bastards. You kind of wouldn't put anything past them at this point with the relationship they seem to have with the Trump family. I would never say they're guaranteed to be going away now, but realistically, if all of this evidence is presented, if everything is looked at, if people do their jobs properly, this could well and truly be the beginning of the end right now for this Tate experience that we've all been subjected to online. This could be them, done, finished, in jail for a very long time. And let's hear what Tate said in his very last podcast, ironically, about the idea that might happen.
If this is your last podcast, what is the one thing you want men to remember?
I always, when I was presented with the red pill and the blue pill, I have always my entire life taken the brave choice. At the time of filming of this podcast, I have just rejected their $50 million to drop my case and make all this go away. I just took a brave choice.
It's just such a lie. It's such a lie, honestly. But anyway, carry on.
They're all sitting around a table deciding what they can do. I guarantee they're saying, is there anything we can do besides kill him? Or does he want to be in a plane accident? Planes crash, bro. Shit happens. The world moves on. Epstein died, the world's moved on just fine. Shit happens.
Comparing himself to Epstein. Interesting.
I actually think the reason I've said no to them is because if I say yes to them, I think that they may still consider killing me.
So I just can't believe people actually listen to this guy and believe him. We're like, how can you believe this? He was taken into a room where shadowy figures offered him $50 million to go away. Oh, really? Okay. When he says at the start there, I always take the brave choice. Do you know how brave this man is? By his own admission, he used women to make money for him. Brave men don't do that. Brave men don't intimidate women to make money for them. And this idea that this is all fabrication because they want to get rid of him. Dude, this man goes on any podcast who will have him. He would have been the easiest guy to kill. And it's genuinely so embarrassing that so many people not just believed him, but platformed him and allowed him to go out there and spread these victims don't exist shit. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and many, many more. Never forget the people who refuse to do 1 minute of Googling just to see all of the allegations around this guy and instead thought, nah, I'll take the money and the views, forget the victims. Because many of them, they claim to care about victims and the truth. They don't give a fuck. And when they platformed him, they proved it. But that's pretty much all I've got to say for now. I hope that this video has helped some people understand just what has been going on this whole time. And I'll continue to try and keep you updated as and when things happen. So stay subscribed to the True Geordie YouTube channel. Hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one.